In this tutorial, I'm going to go through the Travis picking pattern called Travis picking or Travis pattern, and it's based on the picking style of Merle Travis, who popularized this technique. One of the main characteristics is that the thumb is going to be alternating between two strings. The Travis pattern, for our purposes, is going to be done just across 4 strings right now. I believe this is the easiest way to learn it. And we're going to assign our fingers to the following strings. Thumb is going to pluck 5th and 4th strings. Index is going to pluck 3rd. Middle is going to pluck 2nd. That's all. So we're just in these 4 consecutive strings right next to each other. We're going to ignore the 6th and the 1st string for now. Later on, you can just apply this to any combination of strings, but it helps to learn it in a defined area. All right, so the first pattern that I have written in the module is more of a practice one than one that you'll actually hear. So we'll call this the practice pattern. And the way it's going to work is you're going to pluck with your thumb, then your thumb again, then index, then thumb, then middle, then thumb. So we have, I'm going to do it again. Notice that the thumb is just moving back and forth between those 2 strings. Index is assigned to the 3rd string, and middle is assigned to the 2nd. Now it has this rhythm: 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Listen again. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. We can do this faster. But the pattern is always going to be the same. We're just doing it at a faster tempo. Okay, the next one, which I'm calling number 1. So that was the practice pattern, which I recommend doing until you get it right, and you can do it really slowly. With the metronome, of course, is a great idea. Here is the first pattern that's a really common one that you'll hear. And there are many variations on this, but I'm going to show you 2 specific patterns that are used pretty commonly in actual songs. So it's very similar to our practice pattern, the only difference being that we're now on beat 1 going to pluck the thumb and the middle finger at the same time. So instead of just by itself, we're going to do, so every time you start off, it's thumb and middle at the same time. The rhythm is the same: 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Okay, and we can do this faster also. And then the second pattern, which you'll also hear in songs, is to add an 8th note at the very end. So we had been doing 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Repeat. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. In this second pattern, what we have is 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. So we're going to add another pluck on the and of 4 on our 3rd string. So this one sounds like the following: 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. So all we're doing is adding that note on the very last and before we repeat to the 1. Again. So these are going to take quite a bit of practice, but I would practice them in that progression. Do the practice one for a while till you can do it correctly 4 times through is always a good marker. Using the metronome is great. Count the rhythm as you go. Then go through the first one, be able to do that one, and then the second one. So with chords then, I like to use for practice, if you get tired of the open strings, a C chord or an A minor chord. And again, we're just going to use these 4 strings for now, 5th, 4th, 3rd, and 2nd. So here's what it sounds like on a C chord. The practice one would be pattern number 1 would be and pattern number 2, just adding the 8th note at the end. And that's probably sounding familiar to you now in some songs, like Dust in the Wind uses that. All right, lots of other songs. So what about if you want to do a G chord, for example? Because once you learn the pattern, you may apply this to any chord. So if we take a G, we can, as long as we're alternating the thumb between 2 strings of the chord, it could be 6th and 5th, it could be 6th and 4th. And as long as we're taking just 2 different strings to fill out the chord with the index and middle, I could do this. Let's say pattern number 1. Let's see. Have to think for a second. Start with thumb and middle. So my left hand is on a G chord. I could change the bass note. I could move these 2 fingers to 1st and 2nd strings instead of 2nd and 3rd. I'm still on a G chord with my left hand. I could do if we did a D chord and we just are using 4 strings in the D chord, with an E chord, or let's say, yeah, an E chord is fine, all 6, it would be like the G chord, where I can really do any 2 notes with the thumb back and forth, and I can do any of the 2 strings with the index and the middle finger. So I could do I could change the thumb to alternate between 6th and 4th. You get the idea. So this takes practice, but it's a good pattern and it will improve your right hand technique and rhythm quite a bit.